I think one of the key concerns about the system is that the system seems very much orientated on the sanction side rather than the support side.
Well, we did an investigation into Job Centre Plus, and we didn't come across that at all, and nor do I see that in the 2 Job Centre Pluses that I go to see. The advisors that I meet on a regular basis care passionately trying to help their customers to get into paid work. I'm going to go on to the next question to Dr. Webster. Changes since the 1980s have established a more active employment support system with a stronger link between unemployment benefit and engagement with the labour market, which successive governments have supported, all parties have supported. You believe that active labour market policies would be enhanced by the removal of what you describe as threat and compulsion?
I believe that, along with most people who've commented on, well, practically everybody who's commented on this, most people who are unemployed want to work. They want a job. So it is not necessary to run a system on the assumption that most people do not want to work.
If you're in receipt of benefit, then there are rights and the responsibilities. And part of the responsibility is that you should, if you are fit for work, you should actively pursue that. What would you say to people who, for example, just as an example of a group of people who work in the black economy, but at the same time claim benefits such as job seekers allowance? Do you not think that they should be perhaps sanctioned?
Well, that's fraud. We have a judicial system which is set up to deal with fraud, and I regularly read cases in the paper where people are being prosecuted for benefit fraud. Why do we need a parallel secret penal system for benefit claimants who are perfectly innocent?
Okay, so Dr. Webster, so you do think that there should be some form of sanctions even if it is prosecution for fraud?
I certainly believe there must be a judicial system which deals with the issue of fraud, absolutely. And I also think that there have to be conditions attached to unemployment benefit. You can't abolish conditions because it's an insurance scheme, and any insurance scheme obviously has conditions. To claim unemployment benefit, you have to be unemployed, which means you have to be available for work, able to work, and looking for work. So these are conditions that you can't get away from. But that's different from, and for most of the existence of unemployment insurance, the conditionality has meant that. It's meant ensuring that people actually meet the conditions for unemployment benefit. But over the last 20 years, we have seen this shift towards running what is in effect a parallel penal system. And I think that we need to ask fundamental questions about whether we need or want a parallel secret penal system alongside the
What do you mean by
judicial
secret penal system?
Well, it's a secret penal system because the decisions are made in secret by officials. The claimant is not present. They're not legally represented. The punishment is applied before there's been any hearing. If they get a hearing, then it's only long after the punishment has been applied. The scale of penalties is more severe than the scale of penalties which is available to the magistrates' courts or sheriff courts in Scotland. So you are talking unmistakably about a penal system which has a set of characteristics which I would suggest are totally unacceptable in a democratic society. Okay. Well, of course, the legal position at the moment is that you cannot be sanctioned for not doing what you've said you'll do. If you challenge a sanction and go to a tribunal, the only matter that the judge will consider is whether you took such steps as were reasonable to help you find employment in your circumstances. And I mean that's the legal position. What the DWP is doing actually is sanctioning people willy-nilly for not doing arbitrarily imposed things. They say to claimants that they've got to apply for 30 jobs in a fortnight, and then they only apply for 29, and they sanction them. I mean, this is completely absurd.
Well, I don't agree with you, Dr. Ed. So I have 2 job centre pluses in my constituency, and to describe sanctions being dished out willy-nilly is bizarre and completely ridiculous.